Good morning, fourth grade. Welcome back. We are here in, I think this is the third lesson I'm doing. Yeah, so this is kind of like week 3. Whoa, you guys have been at home for like 3 weeks of study. I think it's like actually 2.5, but it seems like a long time, by the way. Yeah, I really miss seeing your friendly faces around Legacy. I miss you guys coming by, like I said in the last video. I just miss you guys coming by my office, saying things to me, and just hanging out. But this too shall pass. Only for a little bit longer. We got this. We've got cool technology that allows me, in some ways, to get right in. And that's kind of weird. Maybe I won't do that. I'll move farther away from here. It's a little bit better. But we're studying, and I'm doing a review. And let's go. Let's go blue. Hey, I still got it. Ready to do this? Boom. I don't got it. Wait. Gotta remember that. There we go. Or I could do my dude perfect, right? Into the wrap over there. Let's see if it works. I don't even know if you can see that on the camera. And that was dude not so perfect. Alright, maybe I'm just better when you guys are in the room. That's gotta be what it is. So, we're looking at reviewing everything we've studied so far in the timeline of the Old Testament. Last time, or 2 times ago, we went from Genesis chapter 1. Then we worked our way all the way through Genesis 3, when sin comes into the world. We get chapter 6 is the flood, right? Noah's Ark. That's all the way through chapter 9. Then chapter 11 is the Tower of Babel. Chapter 12, we're introduced to Abraham. We're really kind of introduced to his name at the end of chapter 11, if I'm not mistaken, when Terah had lived 70 years. He fathered Abram, Nahor, and Haran. Well, Haran. Now, these are the generations of Terah. So it tells us about Terah, or it tells us about Abram at the end of chapter 11. And in chapter 12, we get the promise made to Abraham. And remember, I kind of drew like this little cloud. This is just the way I put a picture of the promise. This blessing that God gives to Abraham, or Abram at the time, and to Abram alone. He says, I will make you a great nation. Who's one guy? Married to Sarah. They don't have kids yet. But God, and he's old. He's like 75. I'm going to make you a great nation, God says. And I will bless you and make your name great. What a great name. That's not what it means, but your name is going to be a blessing, Abraham, and your children's children's children are going to be a blessing to the whole world. And I will bless those who bless you, and to him who dishonors you, I will curse. And in you, all the families of the earth shall be blessed. And we know that we're all blessed through Abraham because Jesus ultimately came from the family of Abraham. Last time we looked at Genesis 15, and we looked at the promise that God made. All right, I believe we ended that last time with the covenant that Jesus makes with Abraham, or not Jesus. God's making with Abraham, and God passes through the animals that are on the sides. Kind of weird. And God, you don't make covenants like that anymore. I mean, imagine like if you go to sign up for a soccer game, or not a soccer game, like the soccer team, and you're like, okay, you have to be on our team. You have to be here every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. And you have to have cleats and shorts and shin guards and all of that for practice. And then the games are going to be on Saturdays, whatever, right? They work out the details with you, and they say to you, if you come all those times, and if you have good sportsmanship, and if, then we'll let you be on the team and we'll let you play. And you two make this covenant, you make this promise to each other. Imagine if, like then, we do that now. We like take the animals and you split them up and you walk between them. I'm so glad we don't do that. But how important is it that there wasn't an if with God and Abraham? It was God saying, here's what I'm going to do for you, Abraham. Here's what I'm going to do. So we ended with that. What I'm going to do today, we're just going to fast forward a lot of the story. Abraham is married to Sarah. Let me make sure you can see what I'm writing on the board. Oh, you kind of couldn't see. Well, over here, it just says Genesis 1. This is Genesis 3. Sorry, a bit of my timeline is off the board. But Abraham ends up, later in his life, he's kind of discouraged. He doesn't know what God's going to do. And God promises him. Remember, God promised, like, your children's children will be like the sand on the seashore. Remember that? Your children are going to be like the stars in the sky. And Abraham ends up having one child of promise, one son through Sarah. You remember his name? Isaac. So I'm going to write Isaac. Here. Did we write Izzy in class? Maybe we did. Maybe we called him Izzy for short. I think we did. But Isaac, and this promise of God, it gets passed on to Isaac. So Isaac now has the promise that God gave to Abraham. And this promise, this blessing, his name is going to be great, and all of that, passes on to Isaac. Isaac, they don't really look like they got a nation going on. And God's telling them to make the nation, Abraham. And there's not a whole lot happening there, but God made that promise when Abraham was 75, like older than your grandmother, right? And then they give birth to the son, Isaac, which means son of laughter. And you can kind of get it, like, you can imagine this really old lady giving birth to a son. People would maybe giggle and laugh, and she probably giggled and laughed too. I mean, let's be honest, how funny would that be for, like, a grandma, older than a grandma, giving birth, and that's her first child? It would be, but it was probably the laughter also within her heart, that finally God had brought his promise about and had given her a son. Well, Isaac ends up having two children. Remember their names? Esau and Jacob. Now, yeah, that's right. Harry and Jacob. Remember, because he's so hairy when he's born. When we flip to it, when we read that. If you have your Bible, you can flip to Genesis 25. I love this. So, these are the generations of Isaac, Abraham's son. Abraham fathered Isaac, and Isaac was 40 years old when he took Rebekah, the daughter of Bethuel, and he goes on to be his wife. And Isaac prayed to the Lord for his wife because she was barren. That means she couldn't have kids. So it's Isaac and Rebekah. They're married, and I'm going to put them on the board because remember the crazy story that happens here. But she's barren. She can't have kids. And the Lord granted his prayer. And Rebekah, his wife, conceived, and the children struggled together within her. And the children struggled together within her. My wife has been preggo 3 times, and babies tend to kick, and they move around in the tummy, right? So maybe you've seen your mom if she was pregnant with one of your younger siblings, or mommies, when they'll walk around, they're a little bit like this and go, oh, they just kick. Well, this is different. First of all, she has no idea that she's got twins in her, right? The children, plural, struggled together within her. So already in the womb, like in her tummy, these kids are like, they're already like fighting. I mean, maybe you fight with your sibling, but these are already fighting when they're in her. And she said, if this is happening, what is this that's happening? So she goes to inquire of the Lord. And the Lord says to her, 2 nations are in your womb, and 2 peoples shall be divided. One will be the stronger, the older shall serve the younger. So what we know, actually, I could erase this. She knows she's got 2 babies in her, 2 nations are going to come from her. And what God tells her from the beginning is baby number 1 will end up serving baby number 2. Usually it was the other way around. The first baby was the baby in charge. He had the birthright. He was the eldest. And everyone else served them. But in this case, God tells her, child one would serve child two. The older would serve the younger. Mind blowing. And here's my opinion. This is my opinion. The Bible doesn't say it. I think after she went and asked of the Lord, I think she probably went back and told her husband. That's what I think. Because I think if these babies are struggling so much in her tummy, they're just like struggling, and she's like, what's going on? Do you think she probably mentioned it to her husband? There's just something weird happening here. There's like my stomach, like already when a baby kicks, like the stomach goes, and I could feel, I could put my hand on my wife's stomach and I could feel like one of my daughters like kicking into my hand. You could feel it. But here, she's like, these babies are going, like they're kicking all over the place. Do you think she mentioned that to her husband? I think so. The Bible doesn't say it, so this is just me thinking, right? But I think she probably told her husband, something's going on. I gotta go inquire of the Lord. I've gotta go to the temple. And I gotta pray and ask the Lord what's going on. Actually, there wasn't even a temple back then. Sorry. Delete that one, Mark. There wasn't a temple. But she went to inquire of the Lord. And the Lord told her something that is just mind-blowing. You've got two babies in the room, and each of those two babies are going to be the leaders. They're going to be the beginnings of two completely different nations of people. That's huge. Do you think she told her husband about that? I think so. I think she would come home saying, honey, no, it was not me, but the Lord told me. And I think she would have told her. And I also think she would have said, the one shall be stronger than the other, the older shall serve the younger. I think she would have mentioned that. That's my opinion. The Bible doesn't say it specifically, but I think she would have mentioned it. When the days of your birth were completed, behold, there were twins in her womb. I'm in Genesis 25, if you're reading along, verse 25. And the first came out red, all his body like a hairy cloak, so they named him Esau. Esau. So he came out red, his body like a hairy cloak, and so they named him Esau. Now, we don't exactly know what Esau means, but it probably had something to do with being hairy, because he was hairy. Or it could mean red, because he came out like with a reddish hue. In the summer, even when I'm tan, I would look red. Like I was red. It's kind of weird. His skin may have been a bit more red, and he was hairy like a cloak, so they named him Esau. So in class we jokingly called him Harry, but not like Harry Potter, Harry, Harry, but hairy like, you got a lot of hair, bro. So you got Harry, and afterward, his brother came out, and his hand was holding on to Esau's heel, so his name was called Jacob, which literally meant he takes by the heel. Later, it would come to mean he cheats. He was a deceiver. But we'll get to that later. His name was called Jacob. Isaac was 60 years old when she bore them. So you got J-Dog and Esau. I'm just going to put E and J. You and I know, and I think Rebecca and Isaac knew that the older would serve the younger. So you got Harry and Jacob, and I think mom and dad both knew from the get-go. Again, the Bible doesn't say it, my opinion. All we know the facts for sure, that Esau is ultimately going to serve Jacob. Well, remember the cray-cray story. Remember how nuts this got. So ultimately, also, the blessing is going to come to Jacob, ultimately. But here's what happens. Remember the sad part of the story? When the boys grew up, this is Genesis 25:27, Esau was a skillful hunter, a man of the field. He was a man's man. He liked to get the bow and arrow and the spear and get out there and find food and kill it and bring it home. And he liked to, that's what he liked. He was a man kind of guy. While Jacob was a quiet man, dwelling in the tents. I think what that means is he probably liked to help the family run the family business, right? He preferred being indoors rather than being outdoors. He preferred maybe crunching the numbers and helping the family business, whereas his brother liked getting out there and getting blood and finding the animal and hunting. And they're actually totally different kinds of people. But, verse 28, Isaac loved Esau because he ate of his game. Isaac loved the food that Esau would bring in. He just loved the taste of that food caught in the wild. And Isaac just related better with Esau. So Isaac loved Esau. Rebekah, let me remove this for the moment. Rebekah loved Jacob. Problem. One parent loves one parent loves the other. It becomes an even bigger problem if Isaac knew that ultimately Esau would serve Jacob. Because Isaac loves Esau. He doesn't want to see Esau serving Jacob. He loves Esau. So you get to the crazy story. Remember that time that Esau comes to Jacob. He's been hunting in the field and he's super hungry and he comes in and he thinks he's so hungry. And I'm not talking like he skipped his mid-morning snack. He's probably been out in the field for who knows how long, hadn't caught anything. He comes in, I'm thinking maybe he's gone maybe a couple days. He's exhausted, it says. Verse 29, once when Jacob was cooking stew, he's over there just like stirring the pot, right? Esau comes in from the field and he was exhausted. And Esau said, let me have some of that red stew. These were lentils. Let me have some of that lentil stew. I'm exhausted. Verse 31. Now he was exhausted. He's going to say later he's about to die. So he comes in from this side. I'm so hungry. Give me some of that food. I'm about to die. Here's Jacob. He's just stirring the pot. Now he could have said, oh brother, you are so hungry and you are so exhausted. Allow me to feed you. He could have brought the food, right? And he could have scooped out some of the lentils. He could have given it to Jacob or to Esau. And he could have fed him and nursed him back to health. He could have been a loving and kind and good. Jacob said, sell me the birthright now. Sell me that thing, the birthright of being the firstborn son, the thing that makes you more important to me, sell that to me now. He could have said, listen, I'm not going to give you any of this stew. If you're going to die, I get to be the firstborn anyway. Instead, he wanted Esau to acknowledge it. Sell me your birthright. Oh, what a loving and kind and caring brother Jacob is. Not at all. Right? Esau said, I'm about to die. What use is the birthright to me now? Jacob said, swear it to me. Swear it now. Swear to me now. So he swore to him and sold his birthright to Jacob. Then Jacob gave Esau bread and lentil stew. And he ate and he drank and he rose and he went on his way. Thus Esau despised his birthright. Esau sold the idea of being the number one son, of the most important son, the son of priority and privilege. He sold that for stew. That would be like you giving up $1 million for some tomato soup. Right? Because you think you're about to die. You give it all up. So he hated the birthright. He despised the birthright after that. Do you think he despised just the idea of the birthright? Or did he despise Jacob for forcing him to sell it for Jacob? He couldn't stand the idea that his own brother made him give up his birthright. Because his own brother, here's what ultimately happened. Jacob loved the birthright more than he loved Esau, right? I mean, if you boil it down, that's what you get to. Jacob didn't care about Esau. Jacob cared about being number one. Why would Jacob care about being number one? In my opinion, Mama Sita, I told Jacob, one day your brother will serve you. That's my opinion. I think he knew. I think he knew that one day he would be the most important one, and so far, God hadn't made that happen. So far, God hasn't done what Jacob thinks he should be doing, so Jacob decides to step in and make it happen. Well, that's not the end of it, though. So, and I don't know how much time. Let me check the time. We have not gotten very far today. But here's what happens. Remember, Isaac now gets old. He's so old in chapter 27, verse 1, when Isaac was old and his eyes were dim so that he could not see. In other words, he was old and blind. He could see no more. He called Esau, his older son, and said to him, "My son." And Esau answered, "Here I am." Isaac said, "Behold, I am old. I do not know the day of my death. Now then, take your weapons, your quiver, your bow, and go out to the field and hunt game for me, and prepare for me delicious food, such as I love. And bring it to me, so that I may eat, that my soul may bless you before I die." Here's what he's saying. I'm about to die, and when I die, I give my blessing to the oldest son. I give my blessing to the one who has the birthright. So here's what he's saying. Before I die, I want to bless you. I don't want to bless Jacob, even though Jacob now has the birthright. So it seems like Isaac, even though he knows what the Lord had said to Rebekah, even though he knows that the older will serve the younger, even though he knows, I think, that the blessing is supposed to go to Jacob, he decides, I love my firstborn son, Luke. And I'm going to not do what I should do. Instead, I'm going to try to give the blessing to Esau. So, Isaac goes to Esau, says, "Get your bow and quiver and head out to the field and go try to find an animal and hunt him down and kill him, bring him back, bring food to me so that I can eat, and then I will give you a blessing before I die." By the way, he's actually not even close to dying. It's going to be a long time still before he dies. But Rebekah, having overheard Isaac, because she was outside the tent, now Rebekah was listening when Isaac spoke to his son Esau, so Esau went to the field to hunt for the game and bring it. Rebekah said to her son Jacob, "Come here. I've heard your father speak to your brother Esau. Bring me some game and prepare for me delicious food, that I may eat it, and I may bless the Lord before I die." So she's quoting what she heard. "Now then, therefore," she says to her son, "obey my voice as I command you. Go to the flock. Bring me 2 young goats, so that I may prepare from them delicious food for your father, such as he loves. And you shall bring it to your father, so that he may bless you before he dies." Jacob, don't go hunt food like Esau. Go outside, bring 2 goats back to me. Then I will make food, give it to you. You will bring it to Esau. Does this here to Isaac? Does this it starts to look confusing, doesn't it? Oh, but we're not done yet. Jacob, at this point, could say, "Basta." In Italian, basta means stop. He could say basta. He could say, "I'm not going to lie to my dad." He could say so many things. "I'm not going to trick him. I'm not going to deceive him. I'm not going to..." No, he doesn't. But Jacob said to Rebekah, his mother, "Behold, my brother Esau is a hairy man." That's like the first thing he said. Esau is a hairy dude. And I am rather smooth. I'm a smooth man. Perhaps my father will feel me, and I will seem to be mocking